Hi, I'm Jonathan Parks of Jonathan's Nature Crafts, and welcome to this series where we challenge ourselves to carve a set of Santas that are of both a cosmic Santa and an Uncle Sam Santa pattern. As I had had not so much experience in carving these and kind of wanted to keep the channel going, I decided to record the series in April where I kind of did the challenge series. And each original video was of a different length and kind of just depended on what kind of time we had, what state of mind I was in, what instructions I was given at the time, and that was why they all kind of ended at different places. So whenever I ended an original video, I would kind of give a little closing remark and give a little goodbye or something at the end just to kind of signify that it was the end of that recording. But given the possibilities, it turned out that the videos were of all these different lengths and couldn't be made for enough of a series to last. And it just so happened that for the steps involved, the series had to go into August just to keep it long enough, even though it was originally recorded to show up in July as a Christmas in July series. So I decided to take all the original videos and put them into one combined video that I decided to divide up into 15 segments. So even though there may be places in the video where it may seem like I'm ending it as of where I end a certain recording, the end of the video in this series will actually be at the place where you see a big black rectangle that says in white letters, "To be continued." So, thank you for watching and hope you will enjoy the series. One thing that I wanted to show you all was how I carve out some of these Santas like you see in the patterns here. There's like a cosmic Santa from outer space. These are the sides of that blank, and there's different angles to the one that is of Uncle Sam, the patriotic one as well. And no more experience than I've really had with carving these patterns, even though I kind of made them as my own translation of the pattern from certain other patterns that I looked at. I came just to deciding that I wanted to show a little video about it, and like I say, with no more experience, I decided to make it more like a Santa carving challenge video. So I could probably just kind of, display the challenge in trying to carve all of these as it goes. And like I said in a previous video, the one for Cosmic, when it came out to the blanket, kind of came out looking kind of like Hamburglar, that old McDonald Land character. And sometimes I'll tell you all that for little bitty works that come into a good place, that it's a good thing we kind of got the gloves here. Kind of need to put one on and try to just manage a little work we do here. So kind of just getting that little area out of the daggum little hat and just seeing the heck what we are just going to freaking make right next. And just kind of get our nice little cutties just coming right out of our little pieces, and just seeing what it's going to make it all, and probably for some places where the wood got a little uneven, got to just get a little place out of that, remove a little spot, and just kind of try to see what we need to make out of this. Just kind of put things down to the very last limit of everything we can take, and just see how this is going to look when we get down to fancy ass pieces of work. You know, I say this is just something where around this we kind of worked around this area of the head and kind of make it so we might just kind of like get a little area done out for the freaking front of the hat, and just kind of get it up in its own little spot of a place. And finally, there's places here where part of the hat kind of shows out a little bit, but, you know, kind of come and just remove a little bit of this area around the dadgum powder puff and just, kind of see a little freaking place we get where we come down and remove a little more from around this other ruffle of the hat and just kind of like get it right in its own dadgum little spot. So, finally work our ways in and just, like, see what this is. And we also chipped off a little too much there, but it's probably just immaterial wood, so probably won't hurt anything to take it off of the other side as well, because it's just that little area where the ruffle has to meet the powder puff, and so, or the pom-pom I'm trying to say, so finally just get a little spot in there, get a little more extra removed from the place, and just kind of take it slow as we freaking go, just remove some from out beyond the hat and see just what we're going to have here. And this little area here that becomes the pom-pom, we're going to take a little circle out of that as well, kind of get it in a good little spot where it's going to come out to freaking be, and just try to get things up to the level where we need to see that they're going to be so good for us. So happy times we gather together here and just kind of get little palms in place. So happy old Santa Claus shall just be a defying, hectic place to kind of put some nice little objects in and just kind of like see whatever we want to kind of get out of this magnificent little freaking work piece. just try to kind of get where we can have the hat in its own god darn spot and put on a little freaking place just to put up some little awesome way to get a nasty little cost of work out of the best of what we do. So there's many worlds here. They come together this way, and for all we come to see, little things can be brought together here for you and me. Finally going to just kind of get around to these little places and remove along here and from along the little nose. And funny how these little areas are just going to be fine little work to measure out of our God forbidden lives and see how just how the challenge is going to end. So I know sometimes that there's this much we have to get done, and so let it be. So, and this is all the more reason these days why I just kind of invite you all out to this little challenge video, because it's where we kind of show our stuff just to know that y'all have gathered around just to see my little fancy ways that I make such things out of a good amount of superstition. So, finally, there's just going to be a time when we're going to get something done in here and just, see whatever shall be made of a little object that has a good little freaking way in us. You know, there's some things we're going to see each day when we venture into the sky, and everything that comes and goes and happens in our lives will so for a good reason. I'd like to just kind of get a little bit of extra time taken out of this little pom-pom here. And so, with all we're just doing, I tell y'all, finally just getting a little fine piece right made in. This is the back of the head, so you know. And I can probably just kind of get a little bit of extra time made into a nice little fine work piece. So there we go, making it so we're just going to see the little palm in the back of the dadgum hat. So with all this little thing, I tell y'all, you know, we get things right in the place where they just ought to be. So, getting things done, we're just going to see how fancy a little work is to us. So, I think I've chipped off a little bit too much back here, so we can kind of even that out a little bit with everything else we can do it appears to me I might be needing to sharpen this knife, because I've heard when the knife sometimes starts to do what it's doing right now, that means it's kind of getting a little bit dull. So don't know what is just kind of taking its place out of my system in life. But you know, I tell y'all that there's just kind of like a way we get things a little more flattened down. So I know with this, little ruffles come out of the freaking hat and make it have a little bit of a awesome shine. So with this much done, I can say we've gotten a mighty long way into it. And so kind of just put little places in the freaking hat just to kind of see what it's going to be made of. And so, awesome ways, awesome work. So what I say,